Hello friends, welcome. If we've met before, it's great to see you again, and if not, hi, my name is Taylor, and welcome to Taylor's Table Talk, because there is indeed a table here. Now let me first just start this video off by saying happy Pride Month. I'm recording this on the first day of Pride. Am I getting this out on the first day of Pride? Absolutely not. I have no clue when this video will actually be posted, but it will be within the month of June. Also, with today being the first day of Pride and June 1st, it is also the year anniversary since the season 2 renewal of Our Flag Means Death. Hopefully we will see a trailer or maybe some sort of announcement about season 2 sometime this month. And who knows again when I'm getting this video out, but hopefully even before I can get this video posted, maybe, just maybe, we have a trailer. Who knows? Also, I know this is a long intro, but before we get into this video, I also just want to remind you that the writer's strike is happening at the time of when I'm recording this video, and it probably is going to be happening for who knows how long, but just please remember to support writers during this time, and that writers, they are asking for just better pay, they're asking for better protection, and honestly, they're asking for what I feel like is the bare minimum, because truly, we have nothing without writers, and I'm going to make sure I will link somewhere, either in the description, maybe up here, who knows. There will be a link to the WGA's list of demands and what they are asking for. Because I feel like I'm never explaining it well enough, and so it's better just to provide some more resources and information so that you can better inform yourself and inform those around you. But now, with all that being said, today what are we doing? Today I will be rewatching and reacting to Our Flag Means Death Season 5. Season 5? Oh my god. But with all that being said, today I will be rewatching and reacting to Our Flag Means Death Season 1 Episode 5. But before we get into that, we need the mood lighting. Editing Taylor, always making this look so cool. Now it is time for Our Flag Means Death, Season 1, Episode 5, The Best Revenge is Dressing Well, written by Mahone and directed by Fernando Frías. Cheers. I'm so excited. We are halfway through the season.
What we have here, the medium-sized merchant craft. You'll note, if you look carefully, a distinct lack of cannons or any other killing devices. So we're going to go on up there and we're going to cause some havoc.
Pirating with Blackbeard.
We're here to observe how real pirates function in the real world.
We are also real pirates in the real world, so...
Quick question. How violent do we expect this to get?
That's terrifying.
No, the gusto, Lucius.
The what?
The gusto!
Excuse me, lads.
Oh, hello, Ivan.
Hello. Have you checked his body yet, or what?
Oh, hadn't even occurred to me.
Also, I call dibs on the gold teeth.
Oh, look at that. Who knew there was so much to learn about pirating?
Steed!
I'm just looting this library, but I'm replacing all the books I've looted with ones I've already read.
Yeah, that's not how looting works, mate.
It's a keeper.
Seriously, stop it.
Hand over the goods, dear boy, or I'll be obliged to unleash my vengeance.
Which would be quite unfortunate
for both of us. How do I be more scary than that?
You try a little more oomph. Next one goes through your fucking eyeball. Now where's the loot? Where's the fucking loot? See? Oomph.
Now, the most important rule with cutlery, always work your way from the outside in. After you've dealt with these smaller pieces in the middle here. So we've got the caviar spoon, escargot fork, lobster fork.
What's escargot?
That's snail. The French love the snails.
Nope, could never, nope. I learned once how to set a table, technically. Not like to this extent. I think it was like in middle school, and they're like, let's learn how to set tables, and in hindsight, I'm like, I don't know why you guys taught me this stuff. No. Don't ever ask me to set a table, a fancy table like this. Not in my skill set. Couldn't tell you what to do with any of these. A fork is a fork, a spoon is a spoon. One helps with liquids, one helps with solids.
Snails.
Back to the outside, and in we go with salad
I'll
fork.
learn all of this just to fucking eat.
Yes, oh,
Thank
but it's
you,
not
Ed.
just eating, we're dining. And remember, dining is
Pageantry.
pageantry. Love to show you some saucier spoons, but there appears to be a distinct...
Saucier spoons.
Hadn't imagined we'd be hosting your kind.
My kind. What's that supposed to mean?
It means a rich donkey is still a donkey.
Donkey. Fucking donkey. Fucking donkey! Do you know where I'm from? You know fucking nothing about me, mate! Fang.
Yeah.
Lash him to something very heavy and toss him overboard. And Fang, skin him first. And use the snail fork.
As he deserves.
Beautiful things. Why can't we have things like this? Well, it's not up to us, is it? It's up to God. He decides who gets what. We're just not those kind of people. We never will be.
Ed.
Pirates, they attack with force. The upper crust, they strike with cutting remarks, disguised as politeness.
It's fucking diabolical.
It is.
Good day to you, fine sirs.
Frenchie!
What do you think? A couple of
He's
the
so
suits and the fancy
cute.
shit didn't have blown them and weren't burnt up, so I nabbed them. And I found this. It's an invitation to some kind of fancy party for hoity-toity people.
Oh, well, we won't be needing that.
Taika's acting with his eyes.
I don't care. But
It looks quite nice.
yeah.
Very well, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Don't want to go to that.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, I don't care. Whatever. But may as well maybe just go. Give me a chance to practice my massive aggression.
Passive aggression.
Passive aggression. I know.
Well, I think you'll hate it. It's just a whole bunch of posh knobs hobnobbing with other posh knobs, drinking champagne and exchanging glances and talking about nonsense, fashion, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We're going. What are you doing tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nah.
Let's do it.
Okay, first off, where do I start? Okay, first off, just Ed being like, Frenchie, you got anything going on? No? Okay, you're coming with us. But also just Taika's acting, just with his eyes, because, like, having to have, like, the full beard, prosthetic, I actually don't know the proper name. I'm trying to think what the proper name would be for, like, a beard that's a fake beard, because I'm like, a beard wig? A wig fake beard? I mean, it's a fake beard, but I feel like there's a better proper name. But I guess the wig prosthetic, I suppose. I don't know. Put that in the comments down below if you know what the proper name for a wig beard prosthetic is. But a lot of his acting for this season was just, a lot of it was eyes, because, like, when you have all of this, like, having to be, like, it's glued down, like, it's a fake beard and it's glued down, like, you don't get to be expressive, like, with your full face. Like, a lot of it ends up coming from like, about this much. And I feel like the same can be said about Vico as well, is that they, for the first few episodes, like, they also were just mainly acting from this portion of their face because of having that wig beard prosthetic thing. Just incredible performances with having, like, those hurdles that, like, as an actor you have to work through.
I'm trying to be quiet.
You good?
I'm good.
I love them.
Oh, be a dear and one of those, would you?
No, shut up. Get back to work now, all of you.
We are working. We just took stock of the rations.
Rations, yeah, and it turns out we are good.
Very good, actually.
I love them.
You think you're cute?
Actually, I think I'm just so, but
I've
I've decided to carry myself like I'm cute.
Work on me.
Oh, Daddy. Your lot days of lying around doing fuck all, it's through.
I love when actors improv.
Hey,
This is fun.
this was so fun.
Yeah, okay.
This ship is ridiculous.
Here we are.
I told you home.
Oh, bonjour.
Sir Godfrey Thornrose. And this is
Jeff, the accountant.
You know, you could pick anything, right?
Yeah, and I like the name Jeff, and accounting's as fancy as fuck.
All right. You have the honor of addressing the Crown Prince Aziz of Egypt. Please. Thank you. And I am his viceroy.
I just love this plot
Please.
line. Oh, I love their little plot line.
How does one win this interaction?
Win? Well, I've never really. I suppose you win if all of these people find you charming. Come on.
They're so cute.
Check out this ice thing.
Pardon-moi, but there is a vicious rumor going around that you are Sir Godfrey Thornrose.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City. I had to. Anyways.
Sir Godfrey Thornrose.
Are they deaf? You deaf?
Indeed I am.
We are huge fans of your work.
Huge fun.
Oh.
Would you be willing to palpitate my wife?
Oh, that was fast.
Yes. This set is yours.
And everyone shall watch.
Me too, Ed.
You and your employee are two of the cleanest, most well-spoken Africans I have ever had the pleasure to meet.
What a lovely thing to say.
If only I can get my Africans to present with your bearing.
Not everyone can be the big dog Prince Aziz here. He's the descendant of a fabulously wealthy pharaoh. Unfortunately, tragedy recently befell his massive fortune. It's locked away in a remote pyramid. And I shouldn't be saying this, should I? I apologize. Or should I?
No.
I don't know. I probably shouldn't, should I? Should I?
Okay.
Yeah, to hell with it. Siegfried gets us. So we've a scheme to retrieve her, but we need the right business partner.
I'm so excited for them to scam all these fancy rich fops. Also, Frenchie just inventing the pyramid scheme. What an icon.
Well, give it. I killed a fresh one once.
Excuse me?
In self-defense.
Good recovery.
Sometimes a quick death's the best way to end a bad conversation.
This man is absolutely hilarious.
And fascinating.
Oh, the angles they choose on this is so well done and so well intentioned.
This is far too fast. 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 Oh, shit! He just tweaked my lower back.
Captain Bonnet will have your head if my calligraphy is negatively impacted in any way. This is deranged. I don't clean things.
We know Lucius.
He's gone, mate. Oh, thank God. Has anyone ever told you you have stunning cheekbones?
Once or twice, I guess.
Yeah? Have you ever been sketched?
You're so cute.
Forgive him. Forgive my friend here, okay? Once he's palmed your cranium a few times, it's impossible to shut him up.
You can just kind of tell, like, we never get any sort of flashbacks like this specifically with Steed, but you can tell so much in how his interactions are with this crowd and everything that obviously he has not had great experiences in the past with these sort of parties and get-togethers of rich people. I don't know what else you would call it. Soirees. You already could tell from the before when they're getting the invitation and Steed's kind of already like, I don't know about this, maybe we just shouldn't. Like it's just not going to be as fun as you think it would be. And I think truly we already see kind of Steed almost reliving past experiences that he's had before at other types of parties like this. I think he very quickly kind of starts to revert into himself and kind of start to like hide away, and as we'll later on watch, he kind of tries to escape the party and get away from the big crowd of it all, just because he's not having fun, he's not enjoying himself in this sort of crowd.
Is everything I have on me.
My people,
Scam
thank you
them.
for your investment. And then he looked this little pyramid scheme of ours to make us all very wealthy. But remember, you must be discreet. Okay, tell no one our pact. Right?
Frenchie, you're such a genius.
Okay, well done.
I didn't realize you
Perhaps I can arrange an office so that your grace can better conduct your affairs.
Yeah.
Businessman.
I don't know what you're talking about. These people are great.
They seem that way at first, don't they?
Oh, I don't know. You just saw they like me more than you.
It's a fickle crowd. Trust me.
I think it's a very interesting side to see of Ed, to where he is very naive, and other times, like, we've seen him, he's like, you know, he can be goofy and silly and whatnot, but there's definitely this very naive side that I think almost it's interesting to see almost the people in his life try to protect him from, in a way. Like, we see Ed's mother, in a way, protect him from this sort of crowd, just kind of being like, well, we'll never be like these people, which I think also kind of like has its negative emotional effect in telling him, but I think on top of that, it was a way to protect him as well, because of the type of crowd that this is. But I think Steed is now doing that same thing in a way of just kind of being like, I'm just trying to warn you that you know, they are putting on a front, that these people, they will turn on you, they will soon turn and become passive-aggressive and just show their very ugly side. And I think Ed, being a pirate and being Blackbeard, like, he's obviously learned to be careful with who he trusts, but often he is dealing with a different crowd. He's dealing with pirates, and so there's a different type of trust that he has with them in comparison to what kind of trust do you have with a fancy crowd, where they're not people who are coming at you with weapons and with intent to cause physical harm, but instead they can still very well cause you mental harm instead, and be absolutely vicious and horrible in such a very different way without even having weapons or physical intent to hurt people.
Not very musical, love. Plus, I only know shanties, which are probably a little beneath the fancy britches crowd like you.
Hello, we love a good shanty.
Oh, see what we can come up with. I don't know, maybe this?
Oh, come on.
Ed, release your greatest hits album, please. And you very much see it right then and there that Steed is starting to revert in on himself. And I think he also kind of reaches a point where he's like, well, I can warn you as much as I want to, but I can only go so far. And I think he very much can see the potential of what can happen to Ed, but I think he also thinks, you know, Ed can handle himself, and I think he understands that. He wants to protect Ed, but also I think respects Ed in the sense of, like, maybe this crowd will act differently towards him. Maybe things won't go bad. Maybe things will be fine. Or maybe Ed just has to come to this realization himself and has to learn the harder way. But you can definitely see it in that moment, to where Steed doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't want to be with this crowd, and he can kind of see how this crowd is, you know, how quick they are to be able to just turn like that, and to start to make Ed out to be, unfortunately to be like a joke. I think there's definitely just a lot of internal and personal stuff that is happening with Steed in there, but I think also it's the fact that he can see this naive outlook that Ed is having right now, and he just doesn't want him to get hurt, and he can see how this can go bad so quickly.
I've never had anyone take interest in my form before.
Well, you've never met anyone worth a damn, then.
Oh, you're just being nice.
Oh, no, it's that little angry fecker. Is he?
Is he the spewer? Let him look.
Is he the spewer? What's that about?
Captain left him in charge once, and we were in choppy seas, and he spewed everywhere.
Get that tea, Lucius.
You really captured something there?
I'm just recording what's there.
What the fuck? I would be so overwhelmed. I would hate it here.
Yes, goody.
Oh. Also, I feel like it has to quickly be said, don't touch people's hair or face or anything without their consent, obviously. Because some people don't get that.
Just give us everything valuable on you, and you are in.
Be quick, please. Business is, you know.
Hey, guys, what's going on in here?
Nothing. Okay. Not
No,
shorty
I
dog.
know them. I know them.
I know
I'm the
them.
captain. Hi.
Why, Jeff? You have such an interesting manner of eating.
Thank you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, I think he's doing better than I could.
Hang on, that's passive aggression.
Bingo.
Whatever do you mean, Jeff?
You're doing it again. Stop that. I know what you're doing. It's not clever.
I don't know if you have a problem with something that we are doing.
I will kill every last one of you.
How will you do that to Jeff the accountant? By boring us to death.
Or maybe he'll remove our heads, these teaspoons, or escargot.
The worst.
I was never very good at these things.
Yeah, from my experience, these things are meant to make you feel like a bit of a jackass. I was in service for a minute, so I know the lay of the land, and trust me, servants, they see everything.
Did something happen over dinner?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I used escargot tongs and a melon spoon to eat a fucking frog.
Oh, God, no.
Such dicks about spoons.
How could you?
I bet. Then they laughed at me, laughs at me.
Edward, put that away. I'm serious. Stand down now. You're in over your head. These are my people. I'll deal with it.
Protective boyfriend mode activated.
And what if I don't? You're not my captain.
I could spill all your beans. You've been a proper little seductress, haven't you?
Hey, Pete. Yeah, I drew Fang naked.
Nice. He's drawn most of us.
See? We don't own each other. Izzy.
Get him.
Or is it? Izzy the Spewer? It'd be a shame if the entire crew learned about that nickname. Have you ever been sketched?
Fuck off.
Excellent work.
Yes.
That was hot.
I love them.
Hey, I've noticed that we've yet to play a game. So I'd like to propose one called Stark Revelations.
It sounds absolutely pedestrian.
It is more of a Parisian game, after all.
I'll have you know that we are as sophisticated as any Parisian you would ever know.
You will play your dreadful little thingy.
So let me understand, it is you versus
All of us.
Let us begin. Now, Sebastian, have you ever had a child out of wedlock named, say, Daphne?
This is like the tiniest little detail. I didn't pick up on this like the first time I watched it, and then I picked up on it later. But it's the little glances that Steve does down at his hand, because like he was passed on all of this information, and just like it's such a tiny detail, and I can't believe I didn't pick up on it the first time I watched it. But yeah, it's one of those smaller things that I just really love, that just kind of adds to all of this.
Ah, yes. Siegfried, I hear you're struggling financially.
Piffle. Patently falsch.
Maybe because you've been embezzling from your business partner for the past 8 months? Gabrielle, Antoinette, you've both been married for some time, haven't you?
Yes, for many years.
There's happy.
Tell me, how did you two meet?
We met at
Picnic.
a bowl.
You see, I think, seeing as you're
actually siblings.
That is inane.
Go fuck yourself, Thomas. Oh, please. We were suspected for years.
I own half the pyramid.
I own half a pyramid.
I own half a pyramid too.
Yes.
Thanks for the info, Ebshire.
It was my pleasure.
Just letting them destroy each other.
What's going on with you? Now they are truly worthless.
What did you do?
Yes.
Passive aggression.
You cut loose. You really cut loose.
Thanks.
I love it. This is like the first time Ed gets to see this specific side of Steed that I don't think we see too often. Like, he has a lot of skill and strength when he ends up like leaning into the dramatics of it all. You know, we see that when he pulls off the fuckery, and I think when we see that when we saw that in episode 2 as well, he just naturally is very good with the very dramatic type things, and causing chaos within that way that is different than I think how most pirates would do things, but it works specifically just very well with him. And Ed getting to see the side and seeing, like, you know, how sometimes, yes, Steed struggles with a lot of the general pirate things. However, he has been able to set an entire fancy ship aflame with just using his words, and that is pretty impressive. Like, these two have their own very different strengths, and they both, I think, end up impressing each other in very different ways. And I think Steed does it in just a way that is very different and estranged from how often pirates are, and how often Ed sees other pirates act in comparison.
What do you do with our earnings?
I reinvested them wisely.
Well, what are we going to do with all this money? I don't know. Sharp in the corner of it. We'll say I'm a Nigerian prince in terrible need over sister.
I love it. The scene. Ah!
We're just not those kind of people. We never will be.
Wasn't ready.
I don't know. I think you're very sophisticated.
This tatty old thing.
Sometimes the old things are the best things.
Don't cry,
May
don't
I?
cry, don't cry.
There we go. Look at that. You wear fine things well.
Okay.
Yep. The night.
Look back at each other. They're in love, Your Honor. So stupid. Damn it. That was the moment, because I think I mentioned it when I did my last rewatch, that when I first watched the show, like, I heard a lot about it being a gay pirate show, and this episode, I think, really fully solidified it, and previous episodes obviously did too. But I think when I first watched it, I still was very hesitant to be like, oh, I think these characters are going to be together, or oh, I think I'm reading into it this certain way. And sometimes when you do that with certain shows, be like, oh, I think these two characters, they're going to end up being together, or they're going to end up having this sort of relationship. And then, you know, as the show goes on and something's like, no, that's not true at all. You're totally looking at this the completely wrong way. And when I saw that scene just completely made it so clear to me where it was going. And while I didn't know exactly how and where and how everything was going to work out and where it was going, I very much could see the overall story that we were telling and where we were going with these characters. And after this, I had no doubt in my mind what the writers and creators had in mind with the show and what was going to be happening with these characters and with their relationships and with their stories. It was the smallest things, and it's such a pure and a wholesome moment between these two characters, and where we see Ed having this very, you know, flashbacks to some of his past there, and hearing, you know, we're just not those kind of people, never will be, and then having Steed, you know, coming and reassuring him and being like, you wear fine things well, and saying, you know, sometimes old things are the best things, just seeing that interaction between the two of them, it is wow. And then, like, that little moment where I remember being like, are they going to kiss? Like, that little lean in moment, and we were so close. And then also just that little look back between the two of them, Like, all those tiny little moments, like, just the small words passed between the two, the placing the little silk handkerchief into his pocket, and Ed letting Steed handle that piece of fabric, and then just the little lean in and thinking they're gonna kiss, and then they both walk away and both turn and look at each other and have that small little moment, and all of that just kind of beautifully adding up, and it all just easily solidified in my head. I was like, okay, we're going to get there with these two.
What in God's name is emblazoned on it?
I believe it is a cat, Your Highness.
Why is there blood all over the thing?
Cats are terrifying.
And slain in the case of Captain Badminton. My dear twin brother.
Didn't he have lots more hair?
Ordinary, I suppose. Not something I paid much attention to.
Yes, well, horrible business, Admiral Badminton. Full force of the English Navy is at your disposal.
On my honor, I'll ride these cat bandits straight into hell.
He said that with such a great amount of seriousness. There was so much seriousness in that. But I remember seeing that the first time and being like, oh, what are we doing here? What's going on? Why is there a twin? What's happening? But I think as I bring it back into thinking about back when I was rewatching this and my other reaction videos, there is this sort of air of comfort that you have as after the whole English Navy debacle that happens in episode 1. I think the writers just did an excellent job of redirecting our expectations and making us not think too hard about everything that happened with the English Navy and with the death of one of the Badminton brothers, and very much subverting expectations as to what was going to go on there, and truly just, I think, giving us this false sense of comfort for a while in terms of thinking, oh, there's not going to be any major repercussions for what happens in this first episode, and a lot of the major things you think that are being dealt with are the whole hostage situation that occurred, and as we finally got rid of the whole hostage situation, you kind of forget about the fact that there was a naval officer that was killed and by pirates and by Steed on his ship. And you kind of forget about that because everything else is happening, and you're wondering what's going on with all these other different characters. You're wondering what's going on with Steed and Ed, and with Jim and Olawande and all these other characters, and you're kind of just more focused in on their stories and what's happening there. That obviously you're not going to think about, oh, are there any other repercussions for this thing that had happened in the first episode? And I remember seeing that and I remember watching it for the first time and just being like, oh crap. Oh, Steed, you're gonna be in so much trouble. I hope they don't catch you. As always, just an excellent episode. I loved having the cameos with Nick Kroll and Kristen Schaal, who just they were playing some of the worst characters of this episode, but they did an excellent job at playing just horrible people. But overall, this episode was really well done, and I think it is the halfway point, and so we are getting, this whole kind of setting up the rest of the plot of what could be happening with the British Navy and everything. But we also, I think, get like a nice little point to where, before the build-up of what happens in the next episode, we get this, as I've been calling these different stages of the of season 1, this being the getting to know you era. And with Steed and Ed, I think they really get this really nice time of seeing each other in a new environment, and for both of them in a very uncomfortable environment for at the same time different ways and yet very similar ways and reasons. On top of that, seeing the crew interacting with Izzy and the conflict that goes on between Izzy and Lucius. It's just a little hilarious thing going on there, and you see Izzy and what he is like when Ed is not around and he is technically in control of the ship, and seeing Lucius be his little scandalous side and being like, okay, so what's the tea? What's up with this guy? What kind of dirt can I get on him? And him having the upper hand at the end of this episode it was hilarious. It was cinematic excellence. Also, I just love the plot line that happened with Oluwande and Frenchie. I found the pyramid scheme, I find it to be one of the most hilarious things. Just Frenchie creating a whole pyramid scheme and him being just doing an excellent job of just scamming these rich people, and I love him for that, and Oluwande just going along with it. And I think that's just a beautiful thing about Oluwande, is that he will just go along with it. Like, he really is just like, okay, so that's what we're doing, I guess we're just scamming people, let me just yes and this entire situation. And he really gets into it and starts to really understand what is going on. And I love the fun that they have in this, and seeing what they do with the money afterwards is, again, just the carrying on of someone else is going to go on and keep doing that pyramid scheme and scamming rich people out of their money. I don't know, I find that to be hilarious, and I love it. And of course, I could go on and on and on about this show, and the great thing is that I will continue to go on and on about this show and about this episode, and I will go more in depth with it in my deep dive video, just as I have been for all the past episodes. I've not only been reacting and rewatching, I have also been doing deep dives for each of these episodes, just because obviously I can talk somebody's ear off about this show. So of course, keep an eye out for that. And I think that is all for today. So of course, I would just remind you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and like this video. Also comment down below, first off, about the whole wig beard prosthetic thing. Give me a name for that, because I still haven't been able to come up with anything better. And I would love to be absolutely corrected in that. And furthermore, if you want to just comment and give me your thoughts and opinions about this episode, about the show, I just love discussing it, as you can tell, and I love getting to talk with others about it too. So please feel free to comment, and you can also find me on all my other social medias too. Those will be right here, they'll be somewhere, and I believe that is it. Yes. So that is all for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, Pride Month, all of the above, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Look, I'm just saying, don't invite me to a fancy party unless you want to see me make a fool out of myself, because that I can promise I will do. But don't ask me about which fork is the salad fork. I have no idea.